Kick the flow, kick the flow, kick the flow, kick the flow, kick the flow.
Lockdown, aren't we? And where you are, you can't move. So had I been stuck at university, maybe I'd gone back there before the lockdown was announced. I'd be stuck in my little box without a garden space, all alone, and only able to go out once a day, and I wouldn't be able to come home. Now I'm stuck at home. I've got a garden, I've got a nice environment, I'm by the seaside, it's lovely, but it's not the university experience that I signed up for. And I'm paying over £120 a week, and my family as well, paying £120 a week for this property at university that I'm legally not allowed to go to. If this lockdown lasts for 7 weeks, Andrew, that's over £800.
Yeah, I get that. Who should refund it, Johnny? Should it be the university or the government? I mean, Lord and Davis thought a bit of both.
Yeah, when it comes to tuition fees, I think really it's got to come from the government. Universities don't have an awful lot of money. Sure, some people do need to take pay cuts, but there are an awful lot of people that work at universities that are underpaid for the amount of work they do. So tuition fees, I think, the government needs to do this. The amount of money they've spent in the pandemic, how much did they spend on the Eat Out to Help Out scheme and other support? They need to do the tuition fees. When it comes to rent, it's difficult because I'm in private accommodation. The University of Warwick, where I go today, has refunded students who are in Warwick accommodations on campus, but I'm a third year student in private accommodation. I don't know who can pay for that.
Yeah, so if you were in a hall of residence, if they still call them that, Johnny, the university would refund you that money because you're paying it direct to them. But now you've got a landlord who's not frankly interested. He or she wants their money.
Well, exactly, and it's a difficult situation for those that are renting out the properties because, they've got bills to pay at the end of the day. But if I'm a first-year student living on campus in halls of residence, then I wouldn't have to pay. So there's definitely a disparity here, and universities and the government really need to knock some heads together and work out how they're going to plug this gap.
You've got the petition is over 500,000 already. What's the target to get it over 1 million?
Well, it would be nice. I'm not the person behind the petition, but I would say to students and families of students, think about the amount of money you're spending and ask yourself, are you getting the same experience? I think the answer will be no, and then you should probably sign it.
Are you fed up? Are you fed up about the thought of not going back on Monday?
I am, because I just want to...
It's your last year as well.
It's my last term, too, of university. I wonder if I'll ever be able to go back there, see my friends and have a good send-off.
I know, and where would you be doing your exam? Your final exams, where would you be doing those?
In some big sports hall, and they're all taking place online, so it's very different.
Well, Johnny, best of luck to you, and I hope it works out for you. That's Johnny Jenkins, who makes the case articulately, in my view, that there's got to be at least a partial refund. So, if you're at university, are you going to sign that petition? You are entitled to some money back, aren't you? Is online teaching as good as Lord and Damien suggested if you're in an arts course? He says it's just as good. Seems to suggest that some students go to university not so much for the tuition, for the crack, as they'd say in Ireland. What's your view about that? And if you're a parent of a student and you're the one who's picking up the bill for the tuition fees, what do you think about that? 0345 6060 973. It stands to reason, doesn't it, that students, if they're being charged for a university experience, and like Johnny, they can't leave their home in Essex, they can't go near the university, even if the library's open, they've got to get some money back, haven't they? So what's the government going to do about it? 0345 6060 973. Time is 8:17.
This is LBC.
We're facing the biggest health challenge of our generation, and we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
Yes, I do.
No hugs with strangers or people that aren't in my bubble anymore. So if you want to hug me, you got to get in my bubble. Those things are over. It'd be really interesting to see how we do. See, most of those comedy things that you would have done would be in small, dingy old, alcohol-filled places, wouldn't they? How are we going to get back to that?
Oh, I know. I was honestly thinking about that today, and it's so sad because the thing about comedy, Eddie, is you've got to have people packed close together to get a real, laugh going and a good relationship. We just can't do it without that.
No.
You know?
Andrew Lloyd Webber wants that. He says he wants his places full, watching his Joseph or whatever it might be, but we'll look out for that. Listen, we're going to go into that. I'm going to get Ori in. I'm going to get you to tell us the silly joke, not the kind of jokes that you tell. They'll get me arrested and banned from the station. But we talked to Dr. Will Norman, who's the Mayor's deputy for walking and cycling earlier on, and he is one of those stories that we just today. There are a lot of stories, and he talked about being really, really happy. His house is happy because they got their child into their first choice school, so secondary school time. You must have been around lots and lots of parents at this time. It's really challenging, really difficult, isn't it? Because you want that school and you convince yourself that if your child gets into that school, they can be all that they want to be.
Yeah, and of course, no school is a perfect school, apart from the one I teach at. But, I mean, the thing is, Eddie, I think at this point in time, aren't we just, as parents, wouldn't we just be relieved to get our kids into a school?
No, I'm not doing that for my children. No, I'm not. I want to get my child in a good school. I want to get my child into a good school.
But there's plenty of good schools. There isn't just one perfect school, and even a really, really good school has its faults. So there isn't a perfect school. There isn't a dream school. It doesn't exist. Honestly, it just does not exist.
You should have talked to me enough to know. There are all sorts of things that exist in my head, Penny.
I know, but your child could get into dream school and find all sorts of issues that occur, and then the school that wasn't so good might actually be so perfect for your child. So I think the thing to do is to not get too stressed about it.
No, fair enough.
Because, even the school that you really don't...
Heroes that we were in March, perhaps. And I don't think we don't want the clap on the Thursday. We don't want, everyone sort of bowing down to us, being us as these angels. What we want is people to obey the rules, to respect the rules, to realise that people are sick. People are really, really sick with this virus. I don't know. I feel like this third wave of it is even more deadly than the first. It's worrying and it's scary. It's scary. I mean, I'm 25 years of age. I'm petrified of bringing it back to my family. I'm absolutely petrified. I've built a Christmas present up there that I haven't given them. I just refuse to see them. It's tearing apart like left, right and centre, and we're trying to care for as many people as we can. We can't save everyone. We've sort of accepted that now.
That was Abby, a caller to my show yesterday, and an A&E nurse. Now, as I said, there is no viable or ethical way to argue against limiting our contact with others now. I don't think that there ever was. But for those who were clinging on to notions of COVID only impacting people who were elderly or sick, and that we can somehow achieve herd immunity by exposing everyone to it,
kick the flow, 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 kick the flow.